Not too sure what's going on with my display because I can't seem to see me. But some interesting things I've been going through. So last month, I've been testing out different linking methods. So particularly, it's a very subjective term on around SEO. For example, if you talk to three different people, let's say, for example, you've got an SEO technical person. And most SEOs fall into one of three groups. They fall in either the SEO technical, the SEO content, or the SEO links. Um, and there's three different ways of looking at it. Let's talk about technical first. So technical is getting everything right on your website. You painstaking look over all the elements, make sure you score it 100% exactly right, and the website ranks. Now that works if you've got a website which has got a lot of previous history, been around for a long time, is a huge website, which has hundreds of pages that are constantly being updated and changed. Excuse me. And then the technical element means you can just change a few things, even internal structure, making sure you're pointing out pages that are important to your users. Where I've done this in the past, where some pages might be ranking down about the bottom of page one, and all it takes is for some internal linking to that page, and it'll jump up because it's got all the authority, it's got all the previous history, and it's pretty easy. I had a mate of mine say to me, he was working on a huge website, and he says anything I did made a difference, and that's true, exactly right. That does happen if it's a big website. If you're working on a 10-page website which's been up 6 months, has no effect, or generally almost no effect. Now let's talk content, because content's big at the moment, especially around the AI model. People are saying that generating AI is just the be end and end all, that should work. It's the same sort of model. And what I'm seeing on other websites which are generating large amounts of content and long form content, particularly up to 1,500 words, they're seeing very little actual effect on getting traffic to those articles. I think one I was looking at this week, it had something like 100, the blog section had 100 users in the last 12 months. And it was a well-established website. So content again, if you can focus really, I'll say that content is relative if you're going to focus right down on a tight event. Answering a specific question in a market about a specific subject and only answering that question on the page. Google's already always said they like specific content that serves the user. If you go down to the point of, what is a forum promotion, for example? Now you're answering that exact question. You're talking about a specific subject, and there's nothing to stop it ranking. It will jump from zero to a couple pages out of the top 10 quite quickly because it's focusing on a specific problem or subject, but it's not going to get in rank any further. It's like it hits the bottom of a huge hill when that happens. And it's all been flat ground up to there and it runs all the way to the start, but then it hits the hill of those websites that again have the authority, have been around longer, and all those when it can't get up the hill. So ranking on page, they make a comment that the best place to hide a body is on the page two of Google, which is pretty true because you don't get any traffic out of it. Sometimes you can get like other country traffic coming in that way because you're ranking in that area, but it doesn't get you what you're after, which is more business, more leads, whatever that might be. And then there's a third type, which primarily I fit in. I realized quite a long way back that generating links to a website is really one of those big keys. It's changed a lot over the years, especially back in the eras of Penguin. Penguin was an update that Google did that punished people that were generating links in all sorts of manners. So a lot of even normal sites which should have been punished, got it as well because no one realized this was coming on. And that was the point where things changed. That's where Google said, yes, we will make you responsible for these links to your website. Previously, um, it was like the wild, wild west. You could do just about anything out there, and you knew that you weren't going to get in any trouble from Google because you weren't generating the links. Well, you were, but you weren't getting the responsibility or the effect of them. So effectively, links were being created, and you couldn't do anything about them. Now, the reason I've fitted it in that box, and it's that particular box is also the most risky. The other things you could do just about anything, and it's not going to make a huge difference. Whereas if you generate a huge amount of links in a very short period of time, and I've got a client who wants to do this, um, that it can have the negative effect, and that it makes your website go lower because you're seeing is creating a pattern. And what I'm seeing, and I actually haven't told anybody this yet, so Ranjit, you get the first one of us. The old model of guest posting, where your website is about black cats, and all the links to your website have the link text that says black cats, and your website goes up. What I'm seeing at the moment is you don't need that link text anymore. It doesn't matter. I think Google's become smart enough as all the guest post model and a lot of other generating links, they are could be seen as a negative for ranking. As why would someone create this exact match link to your website, whereas more likely to get generate links that you can't control, which is what if you want to play the Google game, they want you to create this fantastic website which has great information and is mind-blowing, and everyone will link to you because of how great it is. As I've said in the past to several people, if you're a local plumber, unless you've created a viral video on your website which shows toilets flushing by cats pushing the lever or something like that, you're not going to generate those links. It's just not going to happen. There's too many distractions. There's too many other places that are just as good as you. So it comes down to how can you, not economically, what's the word I want to use is how can you carefully create incoming links in a way that you get enough to make some traction over time. I think there's always a balance out. You're going to have to be slower. You're going to have to take time. With clients, I normally try and only create 5 to 10 links a month and all different methods. There's always a different change on the way I'm doing it. There's always a big question about whether links are do follow or no follow. Now, historically, where no follow came from, and the term doesn't make sense, but anyway, um, no follow was created by Google quite a few years ago, and it was used for advertisers, so that people advertising didn't inflate the Google organic results at the same time, so they could use this tag, and that's where it came from. So the definition of no follow and do follow. So do follow passes authority from the site the site is coming from, the link is coming from, and do follow doesn't. No follow doesn't pass authority. It's got nothing to do without following it, but that's the term that they used. So if you put links on your YouTube channel, they're going to be no follow. If you put links in social media, they're going to be no follow, and they're also going to have lots of redirects going from one page, redirecting to another, to another, to another. There's nothing wrong with those links. There's no indirect, there's no benefit or negative benefit. The fact is, I will only do no follow links or look at when it'll take me 30 seconds or less. There's nothing wrong with having them. I honestly don't think there's any benefit as far as ranking in Google, but it does give you another element. The simple fact is, unless you could do them quickly, you spend all your time creating no follow links and has no effect on your ranking. And there are SEO people in the industry which would, openly disagree with me, but that's my approach. It's the way I think it works. It makes sense to me, and that's the way I look at it. Now, if you've got any questions or anything pops after us, especially in recording, just drop them below. More than happy to, answer questions or add anything to this. Um, if you've got a question now, you can jump on here and give it to me now. But that's my perception over 10 plus years, actually closer to 20 now. Man, that sounds old. In this space. I do make the comment because I'm going to put this in here too. Um, the SEO shouldn't be something that's worked on alone. You shouldn't just have a website focused on just 100% SEO. And I got this question this week. Someone wanted me to basically give them a straight out answer how I would promote a website. And he just wanted to do SEO and he was comparing it to Forbes.com. Now, you in theory you could get up there and you could get traffic from that, but at the same time, it's like a stool, right? It's like a stool with three legs. You would never stand on one leg of a stool. It's not balanced and it's going to topple over. And that's what SEO is. It's only one leg of a stool. You should be doing other marketing. You should be doing social. You should be doing paid advertising. In my more recent years, I've moved into paid advertising as well, both in Google Ads and both in Facebook ads as well. The Facebook reach, the social reach of it is almost nothing. So that's why ads are the only way to get traction. Google Ads is very specific. If a person is looking for, fix my roof in a particular area, it's very qualified. And a lot of business is done that way. Also, what people don't realize is some of the data that comes out of Google Ads is fantastic for SEO. And I've done this a couple of times as well, where I've taken PPC data out and I've used that to readjust what my SEO profile will be. And I also look at, several other times I don't think people do this as well. They want specific pages to rank, but then you look at where the current page is ranking and it's not even there. And then you find another random page on the site where it is almost ranking. So this is the way I approach it. If someone is halfway up a hill, help them up to the top. You don't go and get someone else at the bottom and start bringing them up. So why not work on the page which is almost up there or closer to going up there, where Google has already said, hey, we give you some value already. That's good. Um, so yeah, that's my thoughts for the week. I am coming out with a paid product very soon where I'm actually going to work through how you create links in the best way. It's going to be a bit controversial because people aren't going to necessarily agree with some of the things I'm going to say, but I've been researching this model for years and I've got a balance of what could be trouble and what isn't trouble. And there's a balance between those two things is important. And before I forget this, I'm going to sign off in a minute because unless anybody's got any questions. So when you start ranking a website and you start generating links, should I say, there's a major up and down. Imagine a line of an earthquake. It goes up and down, it's up and down, it's all over the place. And when you start generating links to your site, the same thing happens. And people get scared because it goes up and down so much. But as long as you keep going and you are generating consistent links in many different forms, always a variation, that earthquake will then go up and down. It will keep going up and down and will keep going up and down. But slowly over time, it will slowly grow up. Link building is the longest, slowest game because you've got to, one, find where you're going to generate the link from, two, get that link created, three, then that Google has to find and index that link, and then four, they've got to show credit to the page that it links to, and then it updates in the search. So it's a really long, slow process, and that's why it takes time. And it's patience too. And to be honest, I don't have a lot of patience. No questions. Okay, so yeah, learn SEO. Look, I'll tell you right now. Ranjit's got a question here. He said, "I've just started to learn SEO." Look, if The biggest way to see an argument is put three SEO people in the room and give them an opinion. Each one of them is going to have a totally different answer. Each one's going to think their answer is right. Um, I went to an event a few years ago where the speaker got up and he said very simply, are there sites that are above you? What are they doing? Do that and measure what you're doing as well. Measuring, you can measure when your ranking is changing. And sometimes you'll do work and you'll think it's perfect and the website will jump up and you go, yes, it's working. I'm amazing and it works. And then you'll do the same thing again to a different website and it won't jump up at all, won't make any difference. And I wish it was clear cut, but it just isn't. It just isn't at all. Um, I was talking to a business owner yesterday and he goes, this marketing is doing my head in. It's hard. I went, yep. And you get used to the game. You get used to, even a paid advertising. If you want help with paid advertising, for example, on Facebook and um, Google, I do that as well. But you have to understand as well that Facebook itself is not going to help you with paid advertising. They say they will, but if you get an account locked up or you've got problems with it, you have a lot of challenges getting it wrong, getting it fixed up. And you've got to understand their end. Imagine trying to have customer support for like 1 billion customers or even 1 million. It would bankrupt the company, especially when people have just made mistakes and screwed it up themselves, of which I have done, but that's another topic for another day. Um, Now, last thing before, I'm an executional learner. I learn by doing. A lot of other people can learn theories, but until that theory is put out into the world and you see an effect from it, it's just an opinion. And Ranjit, this is what you'll see on YouTube videos. And this, I get frustrated. Um, okay, it's a good question. So I get frustrated when people make YouTube videos that are making opinions as statements. How do we give in ideas, new ideas? Always quite challenging. Always look at those that are above you. That's very first is what are they doing? And I actually subscribe to marketers just to see what they are actually doing. Um, and then there's software that can at least give you an outline of what's doing. I think some people follow software blindly, and I don't think you should. Ahrefs is my go-to software. It's the easiest to use. They've now come out with a $29 plan, which is way more affordable, and there's a free level as well, but the free level doesn't really help you much. Um, but yeah, running that across sites that are ranking. On adding into this too, I'll link to a new program I've just created, which might be helpful for you, Ranjit, as well. If you're in India and you're trying to see ranking on the other side of the world, you've got to use a VPN or something similar to look like you're in another country. Keyword.com, which I've just done a video with last week, they have a little tool where you click on a link and it will show you where that site ranks on the other side of the world, and it puts numbers beside it and it highlights everything. It's really cool, and it's at the free level too. So I'm going to sign off and I'll probably link to that video under this as well. But action is the key. You've got to look at what you're doing, take action on a site. Look, if you're just starting, build out your own site. Build out your own site. That's how I started learning. Build out your own site. There's no, you could go to YouTube and find all the information you need to build a very basic site, and you can do it almost free. I use Bluehost for my hosting, which is the best around. I've been with just about everyone else. The best part about Bluehost is their support is all it's not ticket based at all. It's all live chat, so you get on there and fix anything that's going on, and they've been pretty brilliant. So I'll probably link to those three resources as well. Yeah, but you've got a pretty good understanding of the whole process here. And every week I do this call, and it's just even if it's only Love Ranjit here today, it's just me talking over what I think is useful. what is helpful for people to know, especially for new understanding it. And things are always different. A few years back, there was an experiment. This is off topic, where the guys at Coca-Cola, experienced marketers, decided to create a new Coke, and these were people with years and years of experience, and they created the new Coke, and it bombed, literally did terrible. And that's what I mean about nothing happens until you put it out into the world. Um, yeah, thanks for coming, Ranjit. I really appreciate for coming in, and hopefully anybody else who watches the recording gets some value too. Bye for now, and have a great week.
You as well, Paul. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.